What's up, guys? We're back with a full NBA slate here on Friday, December 13th. We're going to break down every NBA game tonight and look at bets on the side and over-under, and we'll be adding in player props to the pinned comment once injury reports are confirmed sometime afternoon here on Friday. If you want to win all of your bets today, hit that like button. It's good luck and shows support for the channel and all the hard work we're putting in every single day. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily content. All of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NFL, NBA, NCAA football, UFC, NHL, and NCAA basketball. This is one of the best times of the year to be in the mix with so many sports going on. Click the link in the description if you're interested in signing up and also to join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today and we will give you our best advice on all of them. We are committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the Washington Wizards going on the road to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Washington comes into this game, guys, clearly having one of the worst seasons in the NBA. They did get that weird 122-113 win there over the Denver Nuggets, so congratulations to the Wizards on that one. You came up with a win, but those wins this year are going to be few and far between. It feels like they followed that up getting blown out by the Memphis Grizzlies 140-112. So yeah, not super high on the Wizards at 3-19 on the season. In that loss against Memphis, we saw them basically not stop anybody there on the Grizzlies. Jonas Valanciunas making a good case for himself as a decent trade candidate for, like a legitimate big man for a contender, putting up 20 points and 14 rebounds in the loss. But yeah, Jordan Poole, terrible day from him, only played 29 minutes. Just not a lot of positives out there. I mean, I guess Marvin Bagley III having one of the best games of his career, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks. That's a nice thing. I would like to see him find some success in his career because it's been very, very bleak for the young man, but I do not like really where this team is headed. I mean, they did shoot 90% from the free throw line, but 18.8% from 3. So a lot of work still to be done. A lot of trade rumors swirling around the Wizards and maybe Jonathan Kuminga, maybe Jonas Valanciunas. I don't think anybody in their right mind wants to take on that Jordan Poole contract at this point. So yeah, things not looking amazing for the Wizards. They come into this game with Malcolm Brogdon and Kyle Kuzma both there on the injury report. We also see Corey Kispert and Keyshawn George. So yeah, looking very unlikely that it's going to be a full strength Wizards team. Brogdon, he's dealing with a hamstring issue. He is confirmed out. Kuzma has been officially ruled out as well with his ongoing rib problem. Kispert rolled his ankle. He's going to be out for this game. And Keyshawn George, guys, he's got an ankle problem as well. He is confirmed out. So definitely not going to be the full strength Wizards here as they go on the road to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are fresh off a 122-113 loss there at the Miami Heat. They're back at home now. They're playing against a Wizards team that they destroyed 118-87 only a few games ago. So maybe this is a high motivation spot here for Cleveland. I mean, they can't be too happy to have lost that game against the Heat. They're still 21-4 on the season. They are absolutely cruising out there in the East. We saw pretty decent stuff from Darius Garland in the game, but Donovan Mitchell had a bit of a rough time against the Heat. He was a minus 16 out there. George Niang had a good game, 15 points. He was actually a plus 11. A lot of good things happening for the bench. It is a little bit concerning to see Cleveland lose this game despite shooting 14 of 33 there from 3, but it was just a great night there for the Miami Heat. Tyler Hero going nuts for 34 points. Bam playing really well. He was a plus 20 out there. Jimmy Butler, a plus 10. The bench even looked good, guys. Terry Rozier had a nice day. He was a plus 10 and scored 14 points himself, and the Heat were right there with the Cavs, guys. They shot 43% from the field. So not the best game there from Cleveland, not on offense, not on defense. So they're definitely in a bounce back spot here, and they get to go up against a terrible opponent. In terms of their injury report, guys, we do see Max Strus making it on there. He's listed as out right now. Evan Mobley is listed as day-to-day. Strus officially won't play in this game, still dealing with that ankle issue, but he is, apparently nearing a comeback. Evan Mobley, he's, making his way back. He's, questionable with his ankle issue. I don't know if they would really want to rush him back here against the Wizards. He's coming off, hurting that ankle in that game against the Heat back on the 8th. So, not a lot of time between that. So we'll see if he plays. Clearly not, a lock that he plays in this game at all. Going to be kind of a game time decision. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, we see the Cavaliers are massive 17-point favorites. We've got a total here of 230.5. Washington's only 3-6-1 against the spread playing away from home. They are 6-4 to the over when playing away from home. Cleveland, on the other hand, guys, they've been great against the spread this season, especially at home where they are 11-3 this season. We also see they are an over team. They're 9-5 to the over at home. I don't know, guys. This is a tough game. There's such a big spread here, but I'm definitely leaning towards the Cavaliers. They're in a bounce back spot. The Wizards are terrible and very much not healthy for this game. They really just want to showcase, guys like Valanciunas to see if they can, up his trade value before they probably move him here at the closer to the deadline. The Cavaliers, they're a team that could easily just blow out the Wizards. So give me Cleveland here at -17 as a small lean. I also think you might want to take a look at that over 230.5 just based on the fact, we're going to see plenty of points scored in this game. I doubt Cleveland will be super locked in on defense. And if they don't have Mobley, that's a chunk of their defense gone as well. So give me a little bit of a look at that over as well. Next up, we're looking at the Indiana Pacers. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. The Pacers are only 10-15 on the year, probably having the biggest letdown season besides the Philadelphia 76ers this year. So, yeah, not a great look. They've lost 5 out of the last 6 overall, including a loss against the Hornets. That doesn't look great. I mean, over the last 6 games, they lost to the Hornets, beat the Bulls, lost to the Nets, Raptors, Grizzlies, and Pistons. That is not what is supposed to be going on with the Indiana Pacers this season. They were supposed to be taking the next step. That is absolutely not what has happened, guys. In their loss against the Charlotte Hornets, they didn't necessarily have, that many guys missing either. Just a terrible night from Halliburton. 4 of 10 from the field. Like, bro, how are you only taking 10 shots? He had 8 assists. He had 2 turnovers. He had 9 points. It was a -3. The only offensive player to really have a good night out there was TJ McConnell, who scored 30 points in his 26 minutes. Bro is absolutely cooking out there. He scored 30 points. He made 0 3-pointers. Crazy stuff. The Pacers get, the tough 4-point loss in that game. You're losing to the Hornets when they don't even have LaMelo Ball. This is not a good look. Should be very, very embarrassing here for this Pacers team that just has not been able to figure things out this season. Their up-tempo play hasn't really worked. Really, this all boils down to Tyrese Maxey just having a terrible, terrible year. And is he going to turn it around, guys? I don't know. The Pacers are now 25 games into the season. There's no sign of him suddenly coming back to the form that he had last year. So we'll see what happens. Not looking super great. The Pacers are fully healthy for this game. I mean, you see everybody ready to go. It's go time now. It's time to put up, shut up, or get going. Like, this is the moment. So we'll see what they can do here going on the road to take on the Philadelphia 76ers, who come into this game actually winners of 4 out of their last 5. They beat the Magic there, a pretty impressive win, but they went 1-1 in that little series, and the Magic are so banged up now, guys. It's crazy, but they're coming off a 108-100 win there at the Chicago Bulls, so that has to feel pretty good. It had to feel great for them to see Embiid go out there and have a big game. 31 points, a +16. He was 0-5 from 3, but 13 of 28 from the field. He also had 12 boards, 4 assists. Seemed like he was a little bit more motivated. It also seemed like he was rusty, though, guys. 6 turnovers in the game. So that's not a great look. The bench didn't look terrible, but didn't look amazing. I mean, McCain looked great in his minutes. No shocker there. A +17, 11 points for him. We saw 25 from Maxey. That's a good night. Paul George, 0 of 5 from 3 there. It is nice the 76ers won this game by 8 points despite shooting only 25% from 3. They did a pretty good job defensively. I mean, they had no answers for Zach LaVine, who had 30 points, but they did an okay job against the bench, except for Jalen Smith. I don't know. It wasn't an amazing night. Really, the 76ers won this game mostly on the boards and on Embiid and Maxey's scoring. So we'll see if they can do that in this one, guys. I mean, we do see everybody, the big threes ready to go. We're going to see Embiid out there once again, Maxey, Paul George, like McCain's ready to go. Caleb Martin is out for this game, but other than that, no injury concerns really for the 76ers in this game, which is kind of shocking to say. Not something I really thought I would be saying a whole bunch, but looking at the numbers for this one, we see the 76ers are 6-point favorites in this game. We got a total here of 227.5. Indiana, they're 4-10 against the spread on the road. They're 8-6 to the over on the road. The 76ers are 4-7 against the spread at home and 6-5 to the under when playing at home. But a lot of those stats for the 76ers have come without Embiid this season, so they don't really mean too much. With Embiid playing in this game, do I honestly think Miles Turner is going to be able to slow him down? Although, do I really think Embiid's going to be at full strength for this game? Honestly, guys, I have no freaking clue on this game. There's really no way to figure it out. Is Embiid this game, or is Embiid just out there fumbling and flopping and flailing around? We don't know what we're going to get. I'm going to lean towards the fumbling, flopping, and flailing around version, and I'm going to lean slightly here towards the Pacers in the points, but do not come at me in the comments about this game. I have no freaking clue. There's no way to predict what these two teams are going to look like in this game. They've been all over the place, even all over the place very, very recently. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Los Angeles Lakers. They are going on the road in this one to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Lakers come into this game fresh off a 107-98 win there over the Trailblazers, so a must-win game there after they'd lost 3 in a row. You got to take care of business against Portland, and they did that. They're 13-11 on the season, so they're not just they don't have a terrible record or anything like that. They haven't had the toughest schedule, and they've managed to mostly do well against bad teams, but there's reason for optimism here. They won that game despite LeBron not playing, so cool, I guess. I don't know. That's a little bit tough to figure out. I mean, we saw a big game there from Rui Hachimura, a plus 31 from him, a plus 4 for Anthony Davis, who had 30 points and 11 boards and 5 blocks in the win. So lots of positives. D'Angelo Russell going crazy there off the bench with 28 points. He was a plus 29 and had 14 assists. So just tons of positives across the board there for the Lakers in that game. All that being said, they won by 9 against the Portland Trailblazers. So not time to throw a parade here for the Lakers. Not time to be like, the Lakers are back. A little bit rough to say. They've had a lot of ups and downs this season, mostly downs when they're against tough opponents. And I would say they're probably facing a tough opponent in this one. In terms of the injury report here, guys, we see a lot of important pieces on there, including LeBron and Anthony Davis. But this isn't the normal LeBron situation. Austin Reeves with his pelvis injury, he is questionable for this game, so he could be back. That would maybe be a nice little boost. LeBron dealing with a foot issue, he is out for this game. I don't know if it's as much a foot issue or as they're just giving him some time to rest and recharge, but LeBron not going to be playing in this one. Anthony Davis with his continuing, foot soreness or whatever, he's probable for this game. I think we, definitely will see him out there. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do against, Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle and stuff like that. I honestly do expect Anthony Davis to have a pretty good game in this one. I don't know. Things are looking a little sketch here for the Lakers as they go on the road to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves, who got the cup win against the Warriors and then lost to the Warriors the very next game, 114-106. Minnesota's up to 12-11 on the season. It seems like they might be kind of figuring things out. It's hard to say for sure, but we saw very good stuff from Anthony Edwards in the last game, guys. He was 10 of 19 from the field, 27 points from him, but yeah, another basically a goose egg there for Rudy Gobert on offense. Julius Randle, 4 of 14 from the field, so pretty great. Pretty nice shooting there, Julius Randle. Keep taking those mid-range jump shots. That's really going to work out for you. I do not know why some of these players just refuse to adjust their game, and he is certainly one of them. We didn't see anything we loved from the bench in that one. Naz Reid, 10 points in 21 minutes. Okay, 1 of 6 from 3. His shot hasn't been falling. The only reason they had a decent shooting game was because of Mike Conley and Anthony Edwards, guys. They ended up 45% from 3 in the game, and they still managed to lose. They got crushed on the boards there by the Warriors, who only shot 39% from 3 and still came away with the win. So not loving everything we're seeing here from Minnesota. I still think they got major fleeced in that Karl Anthony Towns deal. Looking at their injury report, though, it is fully, they're clear. Nobody on there except for Joe Ingles. We don't care if Joe Ingles plays or not at this point, right? So, I mean, we like where the Timberwolves are at in terms of health, but do we like where they're at in terms of how they've been playing? That seems a little bit sketchy to me, to be honest, guys. I mean, they have not been great this season. Obviously, only one game over 500. Taking on the Lakers here. I mean, they have played the Lakers twice already this season. We've seen the Lakers win one and the Timberwolves win the last one in a blowout back on December 2nd. So that'll be 11 days ago. And in that game, I would assume we saw LeBron play. I'm not 100% sure. Julius Randle led the team in scoring. Yeah, LeBron did play. He only had 10 points. That was that just terrible shooting night for the Lakers, who I believe were on the back side of a back-to-back. So looking at the numbers for this one, the Timberwolves are 8.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 214.5. The Lakers are 4-9 against the spread on the road. They're 7-6 to the under on the road. Minnesota 3-8 against the spread at home and 6-5 to the under at home. Guys, I think this is a spot we want to be on the Lakers and the points. I think they find a way to keep this game close enough. The concern here would be that the Timberwolves have some insane shooting night, and maybe the Lakers are in a letdown spot after beating the Portland Trailblazers. That seems like a very mean thing to say, but I don't think it's impossible. So give me the Lakers here as a small lean. I don't think this is a play that's very likely to end up in the pinned comment, though. Next up, guys, we've got the Brooklyn Nets. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Memphis Grizzlies. The Nets are kind of a surprising 10-14 on the season, but they've seemingly rededicated themselves to the tank. All of a sudden, they've lost 4 out of their last 5, including a 118-113 loss there against the Bucks. Brooklyn has dealt with some injuries and stuff like that, so I don't want to cast too many aspersions on them, but it has been a little bit rough as of late. I mean, in their last game, we did see 26 points there from Cameron Johnson. Definitely one of the prime trade candidates for, any contending team. team. Schroeder, also a big trade target, guys. He had 34 points in his 34 minutes. He was 4 of 7 from 3, and the Nets as a squad shot 45.7% from long range. So very, very good stuff. They kept things even on the boards with a Milwaukee Bucks team that really doesn't seem like they can defend many teams right now. Really can't defend anyone. Very little production coming from the Nets bench, which I think that's the unit we're going to see kind of handling most of the workload if all the guys that are projected to possibly be traded do eventually end up getting traded. So we'll see what happens there. Obviously not super high on the Brooklyn Nets, but they've got some pieces. They've got some guys that can go off. I mean, even Nick Claxton playing really well. He had 21 points. He was a +3, 10 boards, like a 20 and 10 game. That is nothing to turn your nose up at, even against a defensively lacking team like the Milwaukee Bucks. So we'll see what the Nets can do in this game, guys. The injury report's looking okay. We do see Cam Thomas. He's still going to be out, guys. Yeah, a left hamstring strain. He's going to be out here for at least another week. Like, no reason to hustle him back from a hamstring, and a guy that's scoring 24 points per game, you probably don't want him back in there if you're trying to lose games, which I do think that is the long-term goal here of the Brooklyn Nets this season. So we'll see what they can do in this game. They're going on the road to take on a tough opponent in the Memphis Grizzlies, who are 17-8 on the season. They're fresh off a 140-112 win there over the Wizards. The game before that, they got a 127-121 win over the Boston Celtics, and a win over the Kings. Honestly, this team has been playing amazing. I mean, 17-8 overall on the season. Nothing to turn your nose up at. We're not going to dive too deep into that blowout win there over the Wizards. Turns out the Wizards suck. Who would have guessed? So yeah, we'll look at their game against the Celtics, which was a big time win. Ja had 32 points in the win. He's playing great. 4 of 6 there from 3-point range. Like, if Ja starts making threes at anything close to like a 40% clip, I mean, all of a sudden he becomes maybe one of the most unguardable players in the NBA, and he already kind of is. Like, he can go by anyone. So very impressive stuff from Ja. A great shooting night from the Grizzlies overall, shooting 45% from 3-point range. Brandon Clark played really, really well. 9 of 11 there from the field for him. Jaren Jackson Jr. continues to kill out there. Desmond Bane, he played okay. He was a +17. Didn't score that many points, only 14, but was very efficient out there and played some good defense. Loved what we saw from this bench, too. Marcus Smart, a down night and a very emotional night for him playing, back in Boston. But yeah, a very, very good game there from the Memphis Grizzlies. So definitely exactly what the doctor ordered there. In terms of their injury report, it's still looking very, very good. We do see, basically the only guy on there is Zach Edey. He's dealing with an ankle issue. He is, still doubtful for this game. So we'll see when Edey comes back, but it's not really a big deal at this point. The Grizzlies are absolutely cruising, and that's why they're 10.5-point favorites in this game, guys. We've got a total of 228.5. Brooklyn 9-3-1 against the spread playing on the road this season. Definitely something to take notice of. They're 7-6 to the under on the road. Memphis 10-4 against the spread at home. Very, very good numbers at home. They are 8-6 to the over at home. This is a tough spot, guys. I'm leaning a bit here towards the Brooklyn Nets and the points. I know Memphis is a very good team, but Brooklyn's been hanging tough against some pretty solid opponents. I mean, obviously losing against the Bucks, but they only lost by 5. They did get blown out by the Bulls, but played a very close game against the Magic. They beat the Suns. Like, it's just a little bit tough to project what you're going to get from the Brooklyn Nets on a night-to-night basis. What effect is it going to have, all these guys hearing their names floated in trade rumors? So, like I said, I'm leaning a little bit towards the Brooklyn Nets and the points on the road, but this is another very tough spot, and they're playing a very good team. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Charlotte Hornets. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Chicago Bulls. The Hornets are 7-17. They come into this game fresh off a 113-109 win there at the Indiana Pacers. So good stuff there for a team that's not having the most fun right now with LaMelo Ball out. I mean, Brandon Miller continues to go out there and get in some work. I mean, 26 points, 9 of 18 from the field, 4 of 9 from 3. The future is very, very bright here in Charlotte if they can find out a way to keep LaMelo Ball healthy. Nick Richards had a big day on the board, 14 rebounds, 9 points from him. 4 turnovers kind of sours it. Well, we saw every starter turn the ball over at least 3 times there from Charlotte, and they had 24 turnovers in the game. A big, kind of black eye there for the Pacers. They're not able to take advantage of that and win the game, but Charlotte did shoot 48.3% from 3. That's pretty helpful, and they crushed the Pacers on the glass. So definitely, plenty of reason here for optimism in the long run for Charlotte, but this season's looking like another one where they are very likely to end up in the lottery. So we'll see what the long-term implications really are for Charlotte, but right now, things not looking necessarily amazing, but not looking that bad. I'm not all doom and gloom. They do have a very crowded injury report here, guys. I mean, we see LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, Mark Williams, Trey Mann. Like, there are a lot of guys on the injury report. LaMelo, guys, yeah, it sounds like he's probably not going to be back. He was, taking part in some practice there on Wednesday, so that's a good sign, but I'm going to need a much bigger update much closer to, game time before I'm thinking there's any chance that he's back for this game. Miles Bridges, he's questionable with his continued knee issue. I don't think the Hornets are really going to be hustling anybody back, so I would say that's probably closer to doubtful than, likely. Mark Williams, guys, he's got that foot issue. He's questionable for this game. He's done a great job acclimating to his workload across the 3 contests after his extended absence, so we'll see if he makes it back, but once again, I don't think they're going to be rushing anybody back. Trey Mann, they need his production off the bench. He's still dealing with that back issue. He's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks, but that's news from 12 days ago. So, should be getting very close to being reevaluated, but he won't be back for this one. So definitely not the full-strength Charlotte Hornets here as they go on the road to take on the Chicago Bulls, who come into this one 10-15 on the season. They've lost back-to-back games, losing against the 76ers and Embiid's big, crazy comeback, and losing the game before that in a high-scoring, high-flying contest against the, Indiana Pacers. So, some good things for the Bulls this season. 10-15, probably not where they want to be, but they've done some positive stuff. Zach LaVine doing a great job of auditioning for other teams. I think if it wasn't for the new CBA and all the crazy salary cap implications of his, big contract, he would definitely be getting moved to a good team, but I don't know if that's really in the cards. We'll see if that happens. There are plenty of teams out there that could definitely use his production. He scored 30 points, 6 of 14 from 3, 10 of 21 from the field overall. He had 3 assists in the game. We didn't see anybody else really step up in a major way. 13 points from Vooch, definitely a down game from him after having some big performances. Kobe White, only 5 of 17 from the field. Josh Giddey, Dosunmu, neither one of them were very assertive there with the ball in their hands. So definitely going to be hoping for a little bit of a bounce back from most of their important guys, except for LaVine. The last time they played was back on the 8th. They should be well rested for this one. Looking at the injury report, guys, we see Giddey on there. Patrick Williams is on there. Vooch is on there. Lonzo Ball is on there as well. Giddey dealing with the back issue, he is questionable. I think there's a pretty good chance he plays. Patrick Williams with his foot issue, he's questionable. That is a true questionable, guys. We won't know about that until much closer to game time. Vooch dealing with an illness. I think he's slightly likely to play, but big guys can have a little bit harder of a time fighting off these bugs, so we'll see what happens with him. Lonzo, guys, he's listed as probable for this game with his left knee injury management. He looks like he's going to be back. I'm very excited to see him back out there. He did, 20 pretty solid minutes. He struggled with his shot a little bit, but that's kind of what you expect. It's been great to see him back out there these last few games. Just been really, it's a great story, guys. I want to see him back. I want to see him playing well. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Bulls are -5.5. We've got an over-under here of 231.5. Charlotte actually 6-4 against the spread on the road. They're 5-5 to the over-under when playing on the road. Chicago 5-7 against the spread at home. They are 7-5 to the over at home. Not interested in that over-under, guys, but I think this is a great bounce back spot for the Chicago Bulls. As long as we see them, semi-healthy for this game, I think they'll have a good time here against the Hornets and win this game comfortably. Charlotte's very, very banged up here, and the Bulls are a slightly better team than they've shown, at least in my opinion. They've done some good things this season. They've got some good pieces. I'm expecting them to find some success here in their first game of the season against the Charlotte Hornets. Next on the docket, guys, we've got the LA Clippers. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Denver Nuggets. The Clippers having a little bit of a rough time recently. They've lost back-to-back games, getting blown out by the Timberwolves and losing against the Rockets. We'll see what they can do here down the stretch of crazy news, kind of out of nowhere. All of a sudden, Kawhi is back practicing with the team, so maybe Kawhi Leonard will play basketball this season. We'll see what happens there. I want the dude to get fully healthy, but it has been quite the injury saga with him over the last, fucking 10 years. I don't know how long it's been. A long, long time. Their last time out, they lost 117-106 against the Rockets. They had very few answers there for Jalen Green, but yeah, this was not the full strength Clippers, guys. We saw Zubac, Norman Powell, Derrick Jones Jr., this was not the full strength. No Harden makes things a little bit rough for this team. That's not really how they're designed. It was cool to see Busy Bones Highland going nuts. He had 22 points off the bench, 5 of 10 there from 3. As a team, the Clippers only shot 34.4% from three-point range. So that's probably not going to get the job done very often. It is nice to see, Zubac, a real legitimate, interior playing big man, putting up some good numbers, 21 and 12 for him. But yeah, not enough there at the end of the day. They got smashed on the boards by by the Rockets, who were at full strength and looked very, very motivated for this game. So we'll see if the Clippers have a little bit of a bounce back in them in this one. We see Derrick Jones Jr. probably going to be out for this game. Terrence Mann also possibly out for this game. He broke his middle finger. I forgot. Yeah, he's going to be out for like 3 weeks at least. So yeah, he's not going to be back. Derrick Jones Jr. with a hamstring strain, he's going to be out for a couple weeks as well. So not quite the full strength Clippers, but I think having Harden back is a very big deal. And yeah, if we see more Coffee minutes, more Kevin Porter Jr. minutes, possibly maybe some more Bones Highland minutes, I don't think that's the end of the world here for the Clippers, who are probably pretty pumped to see Kawhi back in the building and starting to get ready to actually play some real basketball. So we'll see how things go there, guys. They're going on the road to take on not the easiest opponent, guys. They're taking on the Denver Nuggets, who are now 12-10 on the season, fresh off a 141-111 blowout win there at the Hawks, who are clearly just looking ahead to the in-season tournament. And I mean, good for them. They but they took care of business there against the Knicks in the opening round with once again, Trae Young going into the Garden and looking like a monster. So we'll be covering those games here in just a little bit. Not today, but in a future video. But let's look at this blowout win the Nuggets had against the Hawks. Obviously not a ton to be gleaned from this one. Another massive day there from Jokic. No shocker there. 48 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals. Is Jokic the best player in the NBA? Is he the best player that we've seen? I don't know. Like, he's the best player in the NBA. I don't think it's really too questionable. Let me know in the comments down there if you disagree. Like, let me know who your best player in the NBA is right now, especially if it's not Nikola Jokic, because the numbers this dude is putting up on a nightly basis are absolutely freaking nuts. We saw the Nuggets shoot the ball really, really well. 12 of 27 there from the field. That's nice. Maybe not a coincidence. They looked better here without Murray in the lineup. It's a bit of a concern given what his whole contract situation was, but maybe they're better with Russell Westbrook in there. Maybe we start experimenting with Jamal Murray coming off the bench. I don't know, guys. But regardless, Denver played really, really well in that game. I think they have to feel good about that, albeit against a Hawks team that was clearly not very locked in. So in terms of their health, things are all messed up, guys. Jamal Murray on there, Christian Braun on there, Aaron Gordon on there as well. Jamal Murray dealing with that hamstring issue. He went through portions of practice there on Wednesday, so there's definitely a chance that he plays in this game, although I would think they wouldn't want to hustle him back, so we'll see how things go there. Christian Braun, he's probable right quad contusion. That kid's going to play. Don't worry about that. Christian Braun will be out there. Aaron Gordon dealing with a calf issue. It's not even clear what the issue actually is, but yeah, it's very likely he's going to play in this one. He's listed as probable, so he should be good to go. Looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Nuggets are 6.5-point favorites. We got a total of 226.5. The Clippers 7-3 against the spread on the road, 5-4-1 to the under on the road. Denver only 3-6-1 against the spread playing at home, and they are 7-3 to the over at home. The Nuggets are, looking maybe a little bit better after that last game, but they're banged up. And, while the Clippers are missing a couple guys, I still think this is a spot we want to take the Clippers here. They're very good against the spread playing on the road. They're getting 6.5 points here. They're probably the better team, which sounds crazy to say, but I think maybe they'll be able to, find their way to slow down everybody except for Jokic. And I don't think Jokic is going to score 100 points. I think the Clippers can score 100 points. Go ahead and give me the LA Clippers on the road in this one. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Phoenix Suns. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Utah Jazz. The Suns come into this game losers of their last 3 in a row. They lost at the Magic, at the Heat, and at the New Orleans Pelicans. That's a pretty embarrassing loss, guys. I don't care how banged up your roster is. You're not supposed to be losing games to the insanely banged up New Orleans Pelicans right now. In their loss, their last time out against the Magic, a 115-110 loss. Obviously, it's not the full-strength Suns right now, but with Beal and Booker out there, this is supposed to be 2 parts of the 3-headed monster. You should be okay, right? Well, apparently not, guys. Despite Grayson Allen scoring 13 points off the bench, 25 from Booker, 18 from Bradley Beal, 21 there from Tyus Jones. They take the 5-point loss there against the Orlando Magic. This team, guys, this whole situation, this whole experiment here, having Beal and Booker and KD on the same team is not really working out. KD starting to show his age here a little bit too. That's not a great look, dealing with a lot more injuries than we would expect. Although most of these seem like bad luck injuries, but maybe you just have more bad luck as you age. More things are likely to go wrong with your body, and you're just not able to withstand the wear and tear of a super long, super grueling NBA season. So we'll see. I mean, not super happy with how Phoenix has been playing here lately, obviously. I mean, Kevin Durant's still going to be out for this game. Other than that, the injury report is looking good. Oh, wait, I take that back. KD is probable for this game. They moved his timeline up a lot. I guess he's going to be back from that ankle much faster than I thought after, getting hurt there against the Spurs. I guess that's like 10 days off. So, I mean, good job. Good for Kevin Durant. He's a veteran. He knows how to handle an ankle sprain, and apparently he is going to be out there for this game. So that is a big, big deal, guys. Probable for this one as of, that news was updated 4 hours ago. So, KD should be good to go for this game. So that's a big, big deal here as they go on the road to take on the Utah Jazz, who are fresh off of getting absolutely annihilated there by the Sacramento Kings. They've won one game out of their last 8 or 7 or something like that. A blowout win over the Trailblazers. In their blowout loss against the Kings, guys, we saw just not a lot of positives there. Keontae George scored 25 points. Lauri Markkanen seems very disenchanted with this whole losing by a ton every night, and I can't blame him. He's a really good player. I wish the Warriors would have pulled the trigger and went out and got him there in the offseason, but they didn't do it. Now he is stuck there for God knows how long on the Utah Jazz, just being terrible season after season until they finally pull the trigger and try and be a competitive team. But that is absolutely not happening right now. So we'll see if they can bounce back a little bit from that terrible loss. I mean, Markkanen is on the injury report. We see Jordan Clarkson on the injury report as well. Markkanen, dealing with that back issue, he's questionable, and Clarkson with that foot issue, he is questionable as well. So what version of the Utah Jazz are we going to get for this game? Does it even matter what version we get because they are straight up not very good. Utah's getting 7 points here playing at home. We've got a total of 229.5. Phoenix 4-7 against the spread on the road. They are 9-2 to the over on the road, which is an NBA best to the over when playing on the road mark. Utah 4-7 against the spread at home. They are 8-3 to the under at home. That's an NBA best to the under when playing at home. So two very contradictory trends there on the total. So probably not going to be on that total, guys, but I do like the Suns here at -7. I think they bounce back from, dealing with all these issues, dealing with KD being out effectively. And I think that's going to, give a little bit of a boost to the bench and, have the starting lineup back the way it's supposed to be. And I think we see the Suns really take advantage in this game, despite the fact they're playing on the road. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the San Antonio Spurs. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Portland Trailblazers. The Spurs come into this one 12-12 on the season, fresh off of a 121-116 win over the hapless New Orleans Pelicans. They have lost 3 out of their last 4, so that's not the best look, but this isn't necessarily a team that was constructed with the goal of competing for anything important this season. So really whatever they do that's positive, I feel like is a bonus. Wembanyama, 25 points, 9 of 16 from the field there in that win over the Pelicans. I think there's a lot of guys there on the Pelicans that can guard him, but there aren't a lot of guys in the NBA that can guard this absolutely alien figure that's just running around out there at 10 feet tall and moving like a guard. It's wild to see in person. If you ever get a chance to see him in person, I hope you do. It is very, very crazy to see. It looks like it's not real. Like even in person, you're like, that's not a real thing. But it's very, very crazy. The Spurs shot 30.8% from the three-point line, so that was pretty nice. Definitely an up shooting day for them. Harrison Barnes shot the ball well. Wembanyama continues to shoot the ball better from 3. It's very obvious why they were continuing to let him shoot, even though he was, struggling there a little bit. The bench shot the ball really poorly from 3. It combined 0 for 8 there from three-point range from the bench. So the bench has to be a little bit better. Bassie played pretty well. He was a +5, scored 16 points, and I guess we have to give Sohan some credit. He was a +14 in his 23 minutes. So give him some credit there, but I'm not about to freak out. Chris Paul continuing to put up good assist numbers, good rebound numbers. He just really doesn't score anymore. So that's a little bit weird. We'll see how things go here for the Spurs. I mean, the injury report looks okay. Castle listed on there. Keldon Johnson on there. Zach Collins on there. Maybe he broke his middle finger flipping off the refs. Castle, he's going to be out for this one. Left shoulder contusion. Seems like a little bit of a soft thing to be out for, but I mean, I don't know how his shoulder feels. Keldon Johnson with a calf issue. He's out for this game as well. And Zach Collins, he has been ruled out with a back issue. So not going to be quite the full strength Spurs. That bench is going to be looking a little bit thin, but we'll see what they can do here going on the road against the Portland Trailblazers, who come into this one losers of their last 4 in a row. They are 8-16 on the season, and they're kind of doing the tank thing there with the Spurs, kind of a race there to the bottom. They've played San Antonio once already this season back on November 7th, and it did not go well for the Trailblazers. They lost that game 118-105. In their last game, Portland lost to the Lakers, who have been really, really floundering. They lost that one 107-98. Yeah, not a great day out there for the Blazers. They didn't have that many guys available, I guess, but yeah, Anthony Simons, 14 points, a minus 16. 14 points there from Ayton. He was a minus 14. He did have 19 rebounds, so pretty impressive to be able to be a minus 14 despite having such a positive impact on the game. Shadyon Sharp, 19 points from him, but yeah, just a bad day out there for Portland. In general, they shot 25% from three. They did do a good job on the boards, but the Lakers not the best rebounding team. So yeah, give Portland some credit there, but not too much credit, especially when you lose by 9 points against the Lakers, right at this point. So yeah, Portland not exactly killing it. Their injury report looks relatively clean. Klingon still on there. Robert Williams III on there. Ayton on there as well. He's dealing with an illness. I think it's very unlikely we see DeAndre Ayton play through an illness to play in this game. Seems unlikely to me, but we'll see what happens. Looking at the numbers, we see the Blazers are getting 3.5 points. We've got a total here of 223.5. The Spurs 4-5 against the spread on the road, 5-4 to the over on the road. Portland 6-5 against the spread at home, and they are 6-5 to the over at home. So first of all, guys, I do like the over 223.5 in this game. I think we'll see plenty of offense. Neither one of these teams great on defense by any stretch. So getting to a total of 225 seems very, very doable to me. I also like the Spurs minus 3.5 in the spot. They're a team that's at least slightly trying to win. Portland's a team that's pretty much trying to lose. So I do definitely think we want to be on the Spurs in this spot. To win by 4 points doesn't take that much. I maybe worry a little bit here about rust with Wemby, but I'm not too worried about that either, guys. Give me the Spurs here to get the win and cover, and also give me a good hard look at that over. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. You can click the link in the description to check out stumpthespread.com, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.